Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Flavor House Love Rhythm Recipe. And of course, I have no music. But anyway, I am your host, your navigator, your guide through this thing we call food and love, and my name is Casey. Yeah, I know. There's always something on this show, that's for sure. Okie dokie. So, tonight we are going to be talking about loving and hating a toxic partner. That's the topic. But I'm whipping up over here some delicious red beans, some beef neck bones, which is really pretty hard to find in my neck of the woods, but I was able to do that. And of course, I started cooking them ahead of time because this is a slow churn over here. So it'll be cooking as we're talking, but I will set you up so you'll know how to do it. And I think it's going to be a good eat. That's for sure. But before I begin, let me look at this. So we decided to go with this delicious beef. And, it's kind of soul food. Yes, it is. And comfort food. We have a half and half tea. That is our mocktail tonight. Or you called it something else, an Arnold Palmer. Yes. Okay, so a mock Arnold Palmer, which is half lemonade, half tea. And what else usually goes in that thing?
Well, no, that's usually it.
Oh, that's it. Okay. See, we just call it a half and half in New York. So I didn't know about no Arnold Palmer's. But, that's why the mixologist is here because he knows all this stuff. Anywho, it's beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. How cute is this? And it's so summer and so refreshing. And I'm so going to taste it. Oh, yeah, I am. I'm going to try my hardest not to drink so much of this so I can have some room for the food because the food is good. But anywho, we're going to have a little hack for sure, okay, to make this process go a little faster. So we're going to do a little bean hack, but I will tell you the slow way to do things. All right, so let's begin. I am, like I said, we're going to be talking about loving and hating a toxic partner. Now, sometimes you don't even recognize that the partner is toxic. And you can be fueling that fire. You're an enabler. Oh, yes, you are. Now, the thing is, how do you either stay with it or set yourself free? Unshackle those bonds, okay? Because 9 times out of 10, you've gone into this relationship with good intentions, okay? And maybe the toxic partner did in the beginning too, and then the toxicity just kind of set up and rose, and it can be misconstrued as a lot of different things other than a healthy relationship, for sure. So, one moment, because I said I have the stuff here cooking. So, while I look over here, beautiful assistant is going to float our lovely ingredient table closer so you can see exactly what it takes. And I'm going to go over here and stir this pot. These pots. Man, I had so much. I have two pots. Yes, I do. Okay, so let me get over here, stir my pot. And beautiful assistant is going to bring my table around, and then we will explore the ingredients.
Well, wonders, Shirley Temple would have been a good option too.
Yes, it sure would. But I just felt like some tea. I just really did. I'm going to be totally honest. I didn't really care whether it paired with it or not. I just felt like some good old tea. And then I thought about the half and half option, which I have not had in a month of Sundays. So I'm stirring this, and this is looking good. Pretty big. Not like the little ones I had before. These are huge. And it smells very, very good. So I got 2 pots over here I need to check. Can I get a paper towel, please? Because I'm getting condensation everywhere. Let me check here. Well, I'll turn the fan back on once I can tell everybody about the ingredients. Okay, that's doing good. Oh, I just had an herb jump up out of my pot. It said, "Oh, I'm free." Actually, it was a piece of rosemary. Okay, so let me get that over here. You can dump that. Okay, and then we're going to talk about our ingredients. So, of course, we have the oxtail. So I saved one of the oxtails so I can do it so you can see what I do. But we have some beef broth, and I usually for the I had altogether about 12 pounds of oxtail, which in what am I saying? She started telling me neck bone, and she's right. You know why? Because when you finish with this, okay. This is a broke person's oxtail. Oxtails cost so. I have oxtails on the brain. I wanted oxtails so long, but when I looked at $100 for some, virtually for the tail of something swinging, I'm like, no, I can't do that. So we had to come up with this, and she keeps saying, and I'm still saying, okay, it's been a long day. Oxtails are not what we are having. We are having beef neck bones, which actually tastes pretty darn close, especially with the way you cook it. So anyhow, I have some beef broth here, and this is about 32 ounces. I had, as I said, 12 pounds of these beef neck bones. So they're pretty big. So I ended up having to put them in 2 stock pots. One, I started sooner than the other. So the second one, I started a little later because I wanted to dump this one. Not dump. It's so cute. Look how cute he is. See how cute she is, or whatever it is, or whatever. And I saved one because I wanted to show you how to prepare it to get in that pot. And then you go off about your business and let it do its thing until it just falls off the bone. Yes, you do. And I'm going to show you how to make these delicious red beans. But anyway, for the 12 pounds, I used 3 of these. I've used 3 of these. Now, if you're just making like a couple of pounds or whatever, what you want to do is when you put your fluid in your stock pot or your pot, you want to make sure that it is almost covered. You want to have some of these peeking out with no fluid because you're not boiling them. You are kind of braising them. And so you're going to bring your heat up high in the beginning, get it to that rapid boil, and then you're going to bring it down to a medium low. And you're going to leave it there. And you're going to let it cook and cook and cook and cook and cook. However, we'll get to that. So we have the beef broth. Okay. Of course, I have some squeezable garlic right here. And I would suggest if you're doing for a small group, if you're doing anywhere from 4 to 5 people, of course, you're going to cut the ingredients. I use about a tablespoon of garlic, and I will show you, I layered it. Okay. But normally I would use about a teaspoonful of the garlic, and you can just do it to taste because if you like a lot of garlic or not. Okay. Of course, I have my Casey's Blessing all-purpose seasoning. You can get whatever all-purpose seasoning that you have available in your area because this is not ready for public consumption yet. Red tape. And a little bit of salt, which I have not put in anything as of yet, but once it gets done, I'll taste it. If it needs a little bit of salt, then I'll just put a pinch. I don't think it will. Okay, so we're going to be using today, and this is the hack. Now, if you want to use dried beans, just get you a pound of dried, and I like the small red beans. You can use kidney beans, you can use pinto beans, you can use Great Northern beans, whatever kind of beans you want. And what you would do if you're doing the long version, there's a quick soak for beans. And I have a video of Great Northern beans and on red beans and rice, okay, that shows you how to soak it and everything. But normally you will soak your beans. You'll take your pound of beans, you will pick your beans. And when I say about picking, you're going through the beans to make sure there's no gravel, there's no dirt, no little stone pieces. Sometimes you may have that. For me, imperfections, so beans that look kind of like they're crip walking, and I don't like that because I'm visual, and then you take it out and then you rinse your beans off. And what you're going to do, you're going to put your beans in, a pound of beans will be probably like 1.5 cups of water, maybe 2 cups of water just to cover the beans. Okay. You're going to bring them to a boil for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then you're going to set it to the side with a top, and you will let them soak for an hour. While you're letting them soak, okay, you've already put your beef neck bones or whatever meat you want on. So usually these neck bones take about 2.5 to 3 hours. Oh, or you want to say something? Oh, no, she looked like she wanted to say something. So of course you do that in the last hour of your cooking if you're going to do beans from scratch. These, again, were on sale. So what I do when I don't get my beans from scratch, I always get the Goya brand because they don't have all of those seasonings on it. I can then take these out and I can sift through the beans. I can rinse them off. I can clean them. And that makes me feel secure because I didn't do them myself. And they turn out very well. You season them up and then you incorporate them. So it makes it a whole lot easier. The longest portion of the deal will be cooking the neck bones. And I'm not saying oxtails. So y'all just let me sit up here and look crazy. Crazy. I get on here looking crazy because there's no music. And then I'm calling them oxtails. That's because I have oxtail on the brain. However, they taste better than oxtails, really, because it's more meat. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this out because I want you guys to really see it. And I'm going to try to take it out. Let me see. Let me just grab a glove, okay? Because I don't want to touch it because it's nice and clean. And that's another thing. Now, I have a neck bones video for pork neck bones. The way that I treat pork neck bones is totally different than the way that I treat beef neck bones. I have to parboil pork neck bones because they have this disgusting gray foam that comes up off of them. And this really gross. You do not want to eat it and it's disgusting. So it's a whole process. Neck bones, if they're usually is depending on the way it's shaped, and I have a couple of them that's shaped that way where the spinal cord is right down the back. You can actually take a little knife and scrape that out with these because they're big enough to do that. So you don't have to go through parboiling them, making it soft enough so you can just pop it out. But anyway, they look like this. So this is one of them. And in this area here is where, turn it around. This area here, you have your meat in here, and some of them have more. I have the other ones I have are pretty big, but this is just for showing you purposes as to what we do with them before we put them in the pot and let them cook. Now, once they cook, all of this meat will be fork tender, and you can just take it right off the bone and eat it. Make sure it's flavored. Highly flavoring it is important. So let me get this back in here because this will be our little example bone, and then we're going to throw her in the pot. Okay. That's what we're going to do. All right. So then I have some brown sugar. And I use the Splenda blend brown sugar and Splenda because I'm trying to save some of that sugar. However, you just get yourself some light brown sugar if you don't want to do that. And you'll be like, what is she doing with this sugar? It's not what you think. It's very important. I got some white pepper. I have some dried celery flakes in place of the celery that I would normally use. I have some onion powder. I have a little bit of cayenne. It's not going to be that spicy. This just kind of heightens the flavor. And like I said, all this stuff is not going into the beef. I have some of this stuff is going into the beans. I have my sazon, which I put in a shaker here, and this is no salt. And then I'm trying this Weber New Orleans Cajun seasoning because I feel like making my own. So we're going to find out what this tastes like and am I turning it the right way? Okay, we're going to see what this tastes like. And I'm always going to step up the flavor. So whatever kind of Cajun seasoning you purchase, you can use or you can make your own. Okay, and then I have some ground black pepper. Okie dokie. And that's pretty much all the seasonings that I'll be using for this particular dish. So,
Malone said those are probably really good for baby limas.
Yep, they sure. As a matter of fact, they sure will. Like I said, you can use what your fave is. I just had a taste for some small red beans. I really did. And of course, I have my cooking spray because my pots have seen brighter days. And this keeps it from sticking. And I have a little bit of canola oil because we're going to brown our neck bones before we put them in our stock pot. So you can use olive oil if you want to. I have a little jar and show my bacon fat because yes, I'm going to use it. Oh my goodness. So, I brought out the bacon fat again because I am going to slather it all over that beautiful neck bone to brown it. Gives it wonderful flavor. You can use olive oil or you don't have to use anything like that. You just want to use something where you can brown it in your skillet. Okay. I also have my little greens. So I have some fresh rosemary. I have some fresh thyme. I have what's left of my veggies, which is the red pepper and a white onion, simple to be. I have some Italian herbs, and they are pretty fresh. I have parsley, and I have a little bit of basil. Okay, these are some great herbs here because they really last for about 4 weeks. So if you can get your hands on them, and like I said, they're called Gourmet Garden. They're really good. And since things seem to go bad so quickly, it's really helpful. It sure is. So I think that's about everything.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, and yeah. Oh, bay leaves. So bay leaves right here. I've been looking for some fresh ones because I really am. Bay leaves are kind of tricky, so you gotta want to make sure they don't break up because they can stick. They don't bend. They don't cook down. They just kind of stand out. And it's like, here I am. So I would love to get some fresh ones. I'm looking for them, but until then, try to get the biggest bay leaf you can get so you can pick it out. Or they have these little, and I can't think what they look like, little and sometimes they're metal, but they are like cheesecloth, and you can put all of your herbs and stuff in it and just kind of drop it down in whatever you're cooking. I don't go through all that. Okay. I take the cheap version. I just pick it out. So that is that. Let me take my little drinky poo. And yum, yum, yum. Okay. So I'm going to put this over here. So I just wanted to kind of get into, and this glove needs to go. Okay. Loving and hating a toxic partner. And this is going to be some real talk. So, yeah. Okay. So love hijacked. Okay. Toxic partners hijack your attachment system. Okay. They mix mistreatment with intense moments. So you're confused. You don't know if it's up, down, sideways, zigzag. You don't know at any moment how this person is going to react to you, towards you, or whatever the case may be. So it always leaves you off balance. Okay. The switch from love to hate. Okay. You ride an emotional roller coaster, seriously. And the love bombing is high test. Oh boy, you can get it. Oh, you are everything. I'm going to die for you. I'm going to unalive myself for you. Let me just get myself right, and we're going to be together forever and you're everything I've wanted, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Then it'll go from that to you think you're a public enemy number one. And you're sitting here like, okay. And yet, there you go. I should have called it the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde syndrome. Exactly. Okay. So that swing is hallmarked in toxic relationships. Do not get it twisted. Sometimes you think, maybe I should go get a priest. I'm just saying, you be waiting for that head to spin around and the green vomit to come out. You don't know. Okay. So, why do you stay? Okay. You crave respect. You crave trust. You crave intimacy, just like most people do. Okay. Toxic relationships are constantly baiting you with feelings and keep you hooked, even when the vibe turns ugly. So there's a lot of different reasons. It depends on how long your relationship is. It depends on who you are as a person. Your self-esteem could be involved. Sometimes, like I say, toxic people really, and a lot of times they don't even know that they're toxic. And this is just a behavior. And they're very, very, what do you call it? They're persuasive, but it's another word for it. I'm just trying to think. Okay, they said two things. I keep telling them. Charismatic. Okay. That is the word. Okay. Very charismatic people. These people are like, wow, they could sell you, a hot coffee and you're down in Hades. Okay, and I don't mean the country. Okay, HE double hockey sticks, and you're like, here's a hot coffee, and you're like, okay, really. It all depends on how they're coming, because what it is. It all starts with you just become the center of the world. A lot of wooing. A lot of that. Who? Deborah Huckabee? Deborah Huckabee, how are you? We're talking about loving and hating a toxic partner. Okay? And that's some real talk. And
I'm sorry. No, I was going to read this comment that popped up by
from
Long Tooth. She said there's a song by 3 Days Grace that goes, I hate everything about you. Why do I love you?
Exactly.
Wow.
And you want, yes. But let me tell you this, you can love somebody and hate
What they
and
do.
hate their actions. Okay, really, you can love somebody and hate their actions because it's so many different things. You can look at this person. This person has presented one way for a long time. And so you've gotten into that groove or that vibe or whatever, and you truly believe this person is true and honest and intentions are what they are. Okay. Like I said, I'm not going to say that all toxic partners do this maliciously. A person can be toxic for a whole lot of reasons. Unfortunately, when you get into a relationship with somebody, everybody tries to show you their best foot. No one comes to you acting like the Tasmanian devil. Nobody. I'm sorry. Even the Tasmanian devil puts on a suit and takes a shave. So, you get lulled until this false sense of security, and it may take weeks, it may take days, it may take years until it starts rearing its ugly head. 9 times out of 10, the toxic partner has some type of emotional problems, okay? And they kind of target people that they feel I guess have that stay put it to neck, get the word out, will hang in there. Bottom line, so for whatever reason, and then you as the other partner, like I said, you go in this relationship, with thinking your eyes are wide open, but everything hasn't been revealed. And by the time you start seeing a lot of the red flags, sometimes you say, nah, because, he was this or she was that, and this is how they rolled. And maybe it's just, the circumstances and, people, evolve and change. And some people react to things differently. And you just go on and on with the excuses, trying to justify that this person is really the person that you first met and fell in love with. Okay, that person's still down in there underneath the layers. In reality, that person may not have ever existed, and the person that you met may have been the fake. You see what I'm saying? Because the real person was hiding there. And 9 times out of 10, a toxic person is very insecure. I find with a relationship like this, a lot of times what will happen is you are constantly having to prove you care for this person. This person will do all. It's like the kid that is constantly doing bad things because they want to keep your attention, and they say, well, if I pinch her, is she still going to like me? If I step on her toe, is she still going to like me? If I take her lunch, is she still going to like me? Because you don't really like yourself. Okay, so it's like, why would anyone want to be with me or like me or love me or have any longevity with me? Let me see how far I can take her. I got to tell you, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to a well-adjusted person, but it makes sense to somebody who can have abandonment issues, somebody who has self-esteem issues. It can be a whole lot of things. Some people, neurodivergent people who have executive functioning issues. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot that goes with it. Okay. And hey, unless you want to be a therapist, yeah, you might want to like deal with, kind of check some of those things. Like I said, a lot of things that I've experienced in my life, in my relationship, had I had somebody to say, hey, think about that, well, maybe. And then you're like, okay, all right, well, maybe it's not just a bad day. It's a bad world for that person. Do you want to be part of that world? So you have choices. Like I said, you get involved in the situation and you truly, really, really love this person. And sometimes you think you can love people through adversity, through whatever they're going through whatever, but you can get sucked in, and that adversity then becomes your pain, your burden, your mental health issue. And where does it end? You begin to lose yourself. You begin to not know yourself. You begin to become basically the toy for that person, or the toy, the joy, the punching bag. And I don't mean it has to be literally, emotionally. I'm gonna tell you, words hurt. The way that you behave towards somebody hurts. That's gonna hurt a heck of a lot longer than a black eye. I don't want that either. Okay, but I am telling you, you don't forget the things people say. And that's why when you have fights with your partner, it is important to be careful how you fight. okay, or how you have a disagreement, because something that you say can last forever. And because that person is still there, do not get it twisted. You, little by little, you are chipping away at what that person feels for you. I can still love you, but I don't have to be in love with you the way I was when I met you, because of all the little dings that you've put in and chipped. And because some people have the mindset, okay, I'm just not gonna, give up. I'm gonna try to work it out. I'm gonna try to do this. It takes more than one person to work it out. And then when you see these little glimmers of hope, hold that thought. I need to stir. All right. I know you were like at the edge of your seat. I know. Let me stir this stuff, y'all. Okay.
Well, while you do, let's go over some of our comments.
Okay. Beautiful sister did say something. I don't know if you heard her.
Wait a minute. Okay.
She's mumbling over there. I could barely hear her.
I'm not mumbling.
Okay. I'm going to check the pot.
There we go.
Okay. I need a pot holder.
Now, what I was saying is, while you're checking your stuff, I will read these comments.
Okay.
And Pam has popped in. Aunt Pam. She said, "Hey,
hello, my
sis."
sister.
She said, "Hey, sis, I'm here. I forgot to turn on my phone."
Okay.
And then we had a message from Miss Huckabee. She said, "You know me. Love does what love does. I really love you, but I love me more. Take care. Peace and out."
Okay. Are you literally out, or you saying?
No, that's what she was saying.
I know. I'm joking. Okay. I'm just moving the bones around so they don't, and they won't stick in this pot. But just give them a little aeration as they cook. Trying to find the core. Okay, there we go. Ooh, it's sticking. Listen, they falling. I like this pot. This pot can cook stuff really quickly. They're kind of falling off the bone now. Ooh, okay.
I told you that fit. That thing is like
do your little thing here. So I'm turning this around. Of course, I splashed myself, y'all. Okay, let me check the other one. Okay, let me check the other one. Okay, was that the only thing that was it?
Yeah, so far.
Okay, all right. So this is doing fine. So let me get back to what. Now, somebody remind me where I left off. Okay, so as I was saying, basically, I'll start with Deborah Huckabee, what she just said. Love does what love does. Okay, gotcha. See you later. Bye-bye. Okay, a lot of times you have to get to that point. Okay, because when you invested a lot into someone else, into what you think you are building something together, and either this person doesn't have the capability to cope with things or to really be present in a way to build a foundation that's going to be steady and strong, and you're thinking one way and something totally different is going on. But every time, it's almost like Atlantic City or going to a gambling place. I'm going to tell you, you get down to your last coin, you put it in the machine, and then all of a sudden you hit for like $10. I'm using dollar slots. You try, okay, you get the $10, you play it back, you down to the last dollar. You try to move away, you hit again. So the same thing with these relationships. You are done. You've had all the pain you can take, and then the person comes along and they turn their heads around. No split pea soup though. And now, who's Dr. Jekyll was a good one. Dr. Jekyll appears. So then you start going, I saw a photograph. It kind of made me laugh. And I'm fading fast. Back down memory lane. Yeah. So you get there and you're like, okay, I see a glimmer of hope. I see beyond all of the muck and the person that, hey, that's my person. Let me try a different angle. Maybe it's something that I can do to make it better or to get through to this person, or maybe this person is just not able to communicate or whatever. Okay. And so and you go along and you're sitting there and you're like, okay. Then all of a sudden, head turns back around. Here comes Mr. Hyde. Okay. And you go through these peaks and valleys and peaks and valleys, and it becomes a roller coaster or a seesaw up and down. So you get to the point where you're saying to yourself, is it me or them? Am I crazy? And this person is saying, and maybe I'm just misconstruing things, or am I really feeling pain more than I'm feeling joy? Okay. So it takes, like I said, for everybody, when you're not in a situation like this, I'm going to tell you, love is a powerful thing. Being in love with someone is a powerful thing. When you open yourself up to another person in that way, that every part of you, every decibel, every cell, everything that makes you who you are is intertwined with that person, okay? A lot of times it's a one-sided thing. You being told one thing, but seeing something else, okay? Because I will say this, love is an action word. When you just speak it out your mouth, like you're talking, saying, rain, 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 it doesn't have a whole lot of effect. You know what I'm saying? And it's cute and it's lovely when people say it to you, but after a while, it starts sounding like you're cussing. Okay? Because if you don't have anything to back it up, that makes that person feel like they are loved, you can say whatever you want out your mouth. And I know some, you know how, and I'm just going to use how, you know, how some guys think they got this wrap, you know, this wrap is so tight, they can kind of wrap you around their finger. People don't really get wrapped around folks' finger. People allow themselves to be intertwined for whatever reason, whether they can't see the forest for the trees, whether they think they're going to change this person, whether they figure this person's going to return back to who they were, who you thought they were, who they probably really weren't in the first place. You have so many reasons. You have things that are called trauma, okay? Having a trauma in your life or having a trauma with this person and getting through it, you know what I'm saying, can bond you even tighter to this person. And I will say again, I do not subscribe to the fact that everybody's sitting here scheming, reading the book. Oh, how am I going to manipulate her? Oh, how am I going to do this to him? It is a nurture thing. You don't, well, I'm going to tell you like this a little bit. I done told y'all before, these little babies come here, they're looking real cute. Okay. But they don't have a nice bone in their little bodies until you teach them. They're cute as they can be. That's their little charisma. They're cute. So if you have a little boy and he sprays you when you're changing the diaper, he's sitting here laughing and giggling. That's not funny, you know, or whatever, you know, or how sometimes they get those teeth and they'll bite you or something. And they just think it's hilarious because they're not feeling any pain. You have little unfeeling little whatever, you know, and some people never get to the point where empathy, and I say empathy is different than sympathy. Sympathy is, oh yeah, I feel sorry for you. I'm gonna pray for you. Empathy is when I get hit by a car, you feeling the broken bones. You're feeling my broken bones. So when you're in a relationship where one partner feels the other partner's broken bones, and then the other partner just, oh yeah, I'll pray for you. Let me go back to reading. Oh, what's on the news? And so you're like, okay, well, maybe we just have different ways of investing in the relationship. Honey, let me tell you, it ain't necessarily so. If somebody tell you it's black, you better look at it and see the black. Don't be trying to make it chartreuse or make it purple or anything else. It is what it is, okay? People tell you who they are every day of your relationship. Whether you choose to see it is a different story. And sometimes when you see it, you're so deep in the muck until how do I get out of this? Are there other people involved? Okay. Who's going to be damaged by this? Let me make a logical decision and not just leap into a situation that's going to make me worse off. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be a calculated thing for you as the person who is, I guess, being toxicized. I'm going to use a new word, okay? You have to really think about it. It's not as easy as people think. It's no more easy than, and you say, when people are being physically abused, why in the world do they sit there and do that? They have to really, in their mind, get to self-loving. When you get to the point where you start making boundaries with that person, and no matter what they say to you, and it's going to be hard. It's just like, hey, I don't want to see my kids be upset or whatever, but I know I'm going to have to set boundaries or they just going to run amok and think they can do whatever they want to do. It's the same thing with relationships. You need to set your boundaries in the very beginning of a relationship. 9 times out of 10, a toxic person will try that. They will see it. But the first boundary that they can break or hurdle they can get over, they try the next one and the next one. And they're coming at you from all different directions. And your mind is so full of love, so full of hope, so full of the possibilities, And hey, you just end up in the middle of a hot mess. So now you have lost yourself. How do you get yourself back? It's a process. You don't just wake up some people do wake up one morning and just rip the Band-Aid off. Some people, for some of us, it's not that easy. Okay. And so you have to rebuild what you had before as far as your self-care, your self-love, your self-esteem, if you ever had any. And if you didn't have any, you need to go and get some. Okay. And start taking some classes on how to build you. That doesn't make you bad. That doesn't make you wrong. That's called self-preservation. The first law of nature, every animal in the animal kingdom, okay, self-preservation. And if you have to be on the defensive all the time when you are in a relationship with somebody, it is not serving you. And 9 times out of 10, it ain't serving them. They just don't know what else to do. And I'm going to tell you, if they can transfer their pain onto you so it can be a little less for them, hey, and you're sitting here being a receiver and enabler to that person, you think they're not? There are very few people in this world that really truly think about other people's feelings to the point that they don't want to bore them with it, as Stevie used to say, I don't want to bore you with my troubles. Yeah, very few people. Most people want to put all their burden on you so they can relieve themselves, whether it is intentional or not. Because I'm going to say again, I don't think that everything that somebody does is intentional. People grow this way. People are not taught how to really treat people the way they want to be treated. A lot of times they don't even know how they want to be treated. Somebody done told them this is the way the world should be. Okay. And the examples that they've had or lack thereof is how they played that game in that thing they call what they call love. Okay, because my rendition of love may not be your rendition of love, but when we come together, we just saying I love you, but what does that really mean? See, those are more than words. You don't ever have to speak them. It's about what you show. In those hard times, in those quiet times, in those times when you're on struggle, okay, it's what you show. It ain't about crumbling and falling. Okay. And yes, sometimes one person may have to be stronger than the other. Okay. But at some point, everybody needs somebody to lean on. And if that's supposed to be your person and that is your partner, that should be your leaning post at some point. It don't have to be at the same time, but at some point, if this person really cares about you and has your best interest at heart, it is going to manifest itself in some shape, form, or fashion. It will not be in a negative way. It will be in, like I said, everybody's not as expressive. Some people need to process stuff. But once you process it, you need to brush yourself off, get yourself up, and be a grown-up. And not leave your collateral damage all over the place. Because it ain't easy for people to pick up the pieces. So I'm going to pause right here because I got some more stuff. I got so much more to tell you. I'm going to show you how to braise or get this little piece, that little one right there, the little teeny tiny one. Show you what I did to get them in the pot. How about that? So let me move this over. I'm going to take a little swig of this. I hope you guys, y'all need to start bringing y'all stuff. Okay. I'm here to tell y'all, this is bring your own mocktail bag. How about that? What I'm going to do, I'm going to put on my seeing eye glasses because what I'm seeing is shadows. I don't really see you. All right. Let me get these glasses on. Let me get over here. And I want to move my computer over so you guys, ooh, they need cleaning. Oh, I'm here to tell you. I don't know how I got so many fingerprints on these things, probably from all the change. I'm going to clean these. I'm going to get my computer set up over here so you guys can kind of see what I'm doing over here. And it's very simple. It's not hard. Not at all. Okay. Un momento. I can move it. You don't have to. I'm letting beautiful assistant have a break. She cooked all of the food yesterday. It was so good. All right. Let me see which direction I want to go. Probably this way. Okay. So. Okay. There you go. We're going to put it just like here. Okay. Let me bring that over here. Okay. That'll go over here. Here. And I'm going to get me some foil. And you know I'm going to need my extra stilts.
Okay. Give me a sec.
I'm going to get some foil. I don't need a whole lot because I only got one neck bone. Almost said oxtail. I tell you.
Oxtail, brother.
Ox is part of
it's part of the cow.
Nah, it's part of the cow. Oxes and cows are a little different, but they're the same
family.
You know, we are family. Yes. So. Yeah, exactly. They're all gonna be like she said, come get in her tummy with her. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Hey, what's going on?
I'm trying to get it now.
Okay, I'm not talking to you.
Oh, I didn't know.
I'm talking to my neck bones. Yes, they are.
Okay.
Okay, so I need to get this on here and that on there and make sure I have me some slack.
You should.
How about that? Okay, so. And bring me my mocktail because I want some of that. I said I wasn't going to sit up here and drink all this stuff, right? I can't help it. Tell that to the mixologist.
She can't drink coffee and then drink all the drink at night.
I need this to touch me in the morning. Yummy, yummy. Okay, so I'm gonna get a couple of paper towels and I'm gonna get a glove because I don't want to get this stuff in my hands. Okay, one moment. Let me get this over here because this is not going to be hard. It's so easy until I'm using the baby skillet of the bunch. Okay, what I do with my baby skillet is over here. Okay, so how am I going to do this? Because I'm going to push this to the back. I'm going to push this to the back so you can see my baby skillet do its thing. Okay, I have this on a 6.
Should I lean this down a little bit?
Well, not yet. Okay. Let me get it set up.
You said you want a glove?
Yes, I'm going to do a glove. Just want 2 gloves, actually. Okay. Now, this pot I really like, but the thing I don't like, the lid doesn't have any holes to let the condensation out. So what happens is it leaks, it cries. It's like, don't cry out loud. Yeah, it cries. You see, look at it, it's crying. It won't keep it inside. So I have to keep wiping my stove. Anyhow, let me get that off of here. Let me get this over here. And this is what you hear. The little metal things on my clothing here. I'm sorry if it bothers you. However, it's just part of the outfit. What can I tell you? I'm going to get some spray to spray my stove, and then I'm going to put that on there. Okay. Let's spray it. Because, yeah, this doesn't look like I want it to look. Okay, so I got that going over there. And I'm going to get this over here. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to put these gloves on, guys. And I'm going to show you how to season this puppy up. It's not hard. I know it looks like a lot of ingredients. It really isn't. And you can add or delete. It's up to you. It's about what you want to taste. Okay, you can do a plethora of things with this. So, okay, I'm going in, guys. I'm going in. Okay, so I'm going to take this. Where are you? And I'm going to take you out. And she's already been nice and cleaned and prepped. All right, so she's nice. See how nice and yeah, all that good meat. So you take this. I'm going to lay her on a piece of foil. Okay, and what I do is, and let me just bend you down so you can see her. Let's see. Can you see her? Okay. Yeah, you can see her, right? You can see her. Okay. One thing I didn't put out here, what I do like to do, and it helps the cooking process go faster. You know me, Adolph's meat tenderizer. So let me go over here and get some. I'm going to put a little bit on her. Okay. So let me get a little of that. And you don't have to let it sit. You can let it sit. The longer you let it sit, though, the quicker your beef neck bones will be. Okay, so
said it's the 80-20 rule.
What's the 80-20 rule? Okay, we're waiting for an explanation of that, Deborah. Okay, so I'm going to put it on both sides. Okay, so now that I have that. Okay, I'm going to roll that on there. Usually I'll let it sit for a couple of minutes, which I'm not going to do that. For television purposes, pretend it was a couple of minutes, okay? So now look at me. I'm going to wipe my gloves because my gloves have to touch something else. So I just wanted to wipe the wetness off of my gloves. And the next step that I'm going to do is the bacon fat. At this point, you can use your olive oil, no Popeye. Okay, or you can a little canola oil. You're just getting this on here. I'm getting for flavor as well as having a sticking agent. So I'm going to get a little plastic knife and I'm just going to get a little bit of this out on here. And like I said, let me go the other way. Like I said, you don't have to put this on here if you don't want to. I love the flavor. So that's why I'm doing it. All right, so I'm just going to take a little bit, and it's not a lot, just because this is one. So for each one, I put just a little bit here, like a half a teaspoonful, not even that much. Okay, and I just kind of put it on here, just like that. Okay, and then, of course, I put gloves on because I want to massage this in.
Oh, okay, so we looked up 80-20 rule.
That can be a lot of stuff.
Well,
okay.
I'm assuming it's regarding relationship stuff.
So I'm going to just give me a moment, y'all. Let me just put it. So she's talking about the 80-20 rule. I guess that Deborah Huckabee was talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you see, I'm massaging my bacon fat all over this. Okay. Now tell us about the rule.
It's also known as the Pareto principle in the context of relationships, suggesting that roughly 80% of the positive outcomes and fulfillment in a relationship comes from 20% of the effort, interactions, or key behaviors. It's not about perfection, but about recognizing that a few crucial elements significantly contribute to a relationship success and happiness.
Okay.
So a little goes a long way, is what I'm hearing.
So basically, okay, so we're going to break that down because, of course, my friend Miss Huckabee wants to make us think tonight and have to use a dictionary. Basically, just a little touch of love, just a little bit, okay, of genuine attention and affection. Okay, everybody doesn't need everything. Okay, if you truly care. Okay, I told y'all I'm gonna show y'all this, and I'm gonna get back over here. See, y'all making me get off track. Okay, so anyway. She's all greased up like she is. So now I'm going to take my seasonings. And so, of course, I begin with my fave. And you just want to make sure that it is seasoned all over. Just like that.
Aim the camera a little bit more down.
Okay, I'm going to let it come. Okay, how about that?
There, that's perfect.
Okay, so I put the Casey's Blessing on, and you can put these seasonings on any way you like. It's no particular order. You just want to get it on. You want to get it on both sides. So I have my sazon because I like the flavor of that, and I'm putting that on there. Then I'm going to take my black pepper, and I'm just, like I said, I'm just sprinkling on here. There are no real measurements. It's about coating the meat. Okay, that's what it's about. I'm not going to do the white pepper because I did the black pepper. Okay, and I found earlier today using a lot of this stuff, it gets kind of spicy. So I'm just going to do a little, just a little sprinkle, just a light sprinkle of the cayenne pepper. And I'm not going to do the opposite side because I don't want it hot. I just want it to lift the flavor. Okay. Then I'm going to, and like I said, it's very simple ingredients on this. I am going to do what now? I am going to flip it over and I'm going to do the same exact thing. Okay. On the opposite side. So I get my Casey's. You get your all-purpose seasoning. And see, with this, I can put as much as I want because there's no sodium involved. Not at all. I'm going to get my sazon. My sazon has no sodium, no MSG. Perfect. I'm going to take my black pepper and let me do this because I was about to do the bad thing and unscrew it. That wouldn't have been good. No cayenne pepper. Oh, what I did forget, I want to put a little onion powder on here, and I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing. Okay, so that's like that. And boy, oh boy, will I not wear this dress with these things on here again because they make too much noise. So I'm going to clean my hands because you see I got a little stuff on there. So this is pretty much like this. Now, I'm going to go back to my little freezer bag, okay, my little teeny tiny quart size bag. And of course, you can have a bigger one, or you can just lay it out flat, okay, because I'm not done yet. So let me get rid of this. I'm going to throw that out, rinse my hands off, wipe this off, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with the brown sugar. And it makes a lot of sense. So let me get this over here.
Casey's blessing, a flavorful salt. Free life is a blessing.
Yes, your food will be blessed and highly flavored when you use Casey Blessing. Okay, so I wash my hands and I'm going to wipe off my little table there. Now, I like using these bags because it makes it a little bit more cleanly for me. I don't like doing all this extra cleaning when I don't have to. I don't know about y'all. Okay, and on Saturdays, I cook a lot of stuff. You know, I cook a lot of meals because some of the things that I cook that you guys see, the kids don't eat. So I may cook 3-4 meals, okay? Which I'm about to stop that nonsense. They better eat. And what did you say, Long? What you say? What you said, Long? Eat or starve, right? Okay. Wait a minute. I can't take this. Okay, let me see. Let me try to make this tighter. Because if it scrapes against this thing again, I'm going to have a hissy fit, y'all. Okay, let me get it over here. So it may not look good, but I'm gonna try to silence the lamb. How about that? Or in this case, the metal. Okay, I'm gonna try. We'll see what happens. It probably won't do a darn thing, but make it heavier and make more noise. Okay, so let me get this cleaned off. Oh my goodness. All right, so if you are going to have maybe about 2 pounds of this, you're going to do about a half a cup of the brown sugar. And I would do light brown sugar if you're going to do regular sugar, brown sugar. Okay, and I can't get it open. I tell you, these darn nails are a pain in the neck sometimes. Okay, here you go. Because I when I ripped the bag, I ripped it really low. So I got to get it open. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I will probably do about a tablespoonful of brown sugar in this because there's only one of them. It's, hey there, lonely beef neck bone. Okay, so I'm going to put it in here because I want to coat my beef neck bone with some of this brown sugar. So I'm going to be careful not to touch. Okay, so that's good right there. And of course, I spilled some, but I didn't want it to touch the inside of that meaty bag. Cross-contamination, you know. Okay, so let me close this back up. Just like that. Let me get this out of here. Off of there. Stick that onto the side. Okay. So now that I have my brown sugar in here, as you see. Hello, Auntie Teresa. How are you? Okay, so you see this going on, right? So now I'm going to take this. Well, did I close it up good? Nope, because I got stuff. Look at this, the mess I'm making. Oh, my goodness. At least it matches my clothes, right? Okay. I didn't have it closed all the way. How I managed to do that? Let me see. Yes, it did. It must have been some on the outside of it. That's what it was. Because I thought I closed it. But anyway, you know what it is? I've split the bag. I had to get another bag. I'm sitting here. I tell you. I got to get another bag. And we're going to start this party again. Let me tell you when you get this. Like, this is like my shower cap, right? I had this shower cap that I've had like so long. I can't even remember when I bought it. And I love this shower cap. I bought a whole new set of shower caps, all pretty colors and stuff, but they just won't do this, my shower cap. I don't know where I got the shower cap from, but I've had it forever. Of course, I lent it out and I went to take a shower. And I noticed when I took it off, and thankfully I didn't put my head underneath the water because I had curlers in my hair. Okay, so I didn't put my head in the underneath the water, like I would normally do. Child, I get out of the shower. I go to take my trusty shower cap that I love so much, and I usually turn it inside out. It didn't get wet, thankfully. It had a hole in the shower cap. Well, inside the shower cap is this material that kind of protects your head, your hair, whatever. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't have gotten wet. But needless to say, that shower cap has been retired. So now I got to find another one that like it, because the ones that I got, all these different colors, I don't know what kind of shower cap that is. They have plastic on the inside of the shower cap and material on the outside. I'm like, okay, is this a real shower cap? Anyway, y'all, so as you see, I have coated my neck bone with the brown sugar. Okay. And you're like, oh gosh, this is going to be a teeth biter. This is going to be like candy. No, it's not. Trust me. But what it is going to do is going to give you, well, you'll see. Let me put this up here. Okay, I'm back. All right, so I have my little itty bitty teeny weeny over here, y'all. And that's because I have one little teeny weeny neck bone. So why would I need a big giant one? So I'm going to take this and I'm going to take my cooking spray, because this is one of the old timers, okay? Like my friend Deborah Huckabee is always saying, I'm an old timer. Okay, I don't know why she says that, because she ain't old. But anyway, so I'm going to spray this. Okay, and I'm going to start heating it up, and then I'm going to get a little oil in here. And like I said, you can use whatever oil you want. Just make sure that it can stand the heat, because if it can't stand the heat, it need not be in this kitchen. Okay, so I'm going to put it on a 7, because this pot is small, and it won't take long for it to heat up. And then I'm going to put a little bit of the canola oil in there. I'm going to take this out. And see, normally I would take this out and not handle it a certain way, but I'm going to just try to dig my hand in there. I think I'm going to try to do that and get this out when I need it. What the objective is I want to brown this, really brown this on both sides before I pop it into what would be this pot. Okay. Now, once this gets browned, all of those vegetables that I showed you and the herbs, normally what I would do, if I have a big pot like this, I start at the bottom. I'll put my onions and my peppers down at the bottom. Then I would put a layer of meat. Then I would hit it again with all of my seasonings, my Casey's Blessing, my onion powder, the same seasonings that I put on the original meat. Okay. Then I would hit it with, and once I do that, I will put my herbs, a pinch of each one, a little sprig of my rosemary, and some of the vines. So a little handful of the vines of the thyme on top of it. And then I repeat until, like, this pot only took 2 layers. So and then I will put a half a stick of butter in the bottom. And then I would do the same thing on the top, ending up with the rosemary and the herbs on top and the butter and some seasoning. Then I'm going to take my beef broth, which beautiful assistant. Okay, this is hot enough. Let me get the oil. And I'm going to put here probably 3 tablespoons, not even that much because this is a little pan. So about 2 tablespoons of oil. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because this is a small pan. And I just want it to heat enough so when I put this in here, you get that sizzle. I don't want it to fry rapidly. I just want to brown it. But back to the pot. So once I have layered my flavors and I've re-seasoned every layer, then I'm going to take my beef broth. And for this right here, like I said, it took me 32 and 32. What is that? 64 ounces of broth. I did not cover the meat. I stopped at about right here. So 3/4 of the way with liquid. The reason why, as you cook this meat, after you bring it to a rapid boil, once you cook this meat, it is going to start emitting juices of its own. So you're not boiling, I'm braising. And people use even less fluid when they braise, but because I want like a little gravy, I put more. So I think we're ready. Let me turn it down again because it may be too hot. I'm going to take this out and I'm going to just sit it in here. Okay, and it wasn't quite ready. So let me take it back up. But it'll be fine because you want it to be hot enough to go in here, but I didn't want to take the risk of doing too much too soon or not soon enough because this little pan is so small. And I don't use it for this. I make like eggs in this little pan, but I'm kind of demonstrating one piece. Why use a big giant thing? So let me rinse my hand off because I got a little sugar on here. And let me get over here. Just like that. And there's my sizzle. See, it does what it wants to do. Just like my friend Deborah Huckabee says, love does what love does. Neckbone does what neckbone wants. How about that? Okay, so it's sizzling. I'm going to take it. I'm going to put it on 6 because I don't want it to splatter. Let me make sure this is doing what it has to do back here. And you guys are doing what you have to do. And see, this liquid is reducing, becoming very flavorful. Now, when I get to the point that this is fall off the bone, I'll do one of 2 things. I will start lifting some of those bones out, just taking the meat off, leave a few bones there. If my liquid is not thick enough, I can do 2 things. I can either take a little bit of gravy master and stick it in there and it will thicken it. Or I could take a little bit of butter and put it in there and it'll thicken it. Or I can make my little concoction that I make, my secret quick roux with a little bit of flour and some heavy whipping cream, stick it right in the middle, kind of move it around. It'll cook and it'll thicken. Either way, I'm going to have it thicken. Okay.
Oh, and also a little public service announcement to the people watching out there. If you don't like this video, you'll starve. That's what Lo said. You'll starve.
You'll starve. Lo said you'll starve. So I see 8 people. I don't know who else is out there. What are you saying?
Lois.
Oh, hey Lois, how are you? Okay, I didn't know what language she was talking. She got so excited. Now I see 5 likes. I should see 3 more, shouldn't I? Do you guys just want to see me? You want to see me dance? How about that? Okay. All right. Now, can I get 8 likes, maybe? Now I got 9. Okay. I'm gonna start doing like they do in an auction. Okay. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 9, 9, 9, 4, 4, 4. Okay.
Also, we got another message that back to the topic. You can't let toxic behavior start or continue. Partners are a dime a dozen. Don't accept or tolerate a toxic relationship. Partners are supposed to build you up, not break you down.
Okay, got that right, and that's for sure. And you're absolutely right. And if you see these signs in the very beginning, run as fast as you can. Don't let them catch you. Don't be the gingerbread man. Okay, that's all I'm saying. But if you happen to get caught out there, like many of us do, like I was saying, if you didn't have self-esteem in the very beginning, and you relied on this person to build you up. And you really, a lot of times, you don't even realize that you are relying on somebody for so much of your happiness. Okay, you can self-isolate yourself because this person fulfills every need you think or whatever. That person may not be feeling that. Okay, just because they don't vocalize it, okay, they're like, okay, whatever, and they get disenchanted. That can be a reason. Or, like I said from the very start, they were crap and they played you. Okay, I mean, I'm just gonna be totally honest. It can be either or, but once you're in it, a lot of times, because if it wasn't true that a lot of times people stay in relationships longer than they need to or have to, you wouldn't be having these conversations, okay? Everybody would be happy, skipping off into the sunset, la, la, la. So let's get real, okay? We stay in all kinds of relationships for all kinds of reasons. Sometimes they're selfish. Sometimes they're unselfish. Sometimes they're unbeknowing. Sometimes you do it for the kids. Sometimes you do it, whatever, for finances, whatever your reason, okay? But everybody has an end game, a limit. Some people's are very quick, like Dad. I'm gonna kick you to the curb. That's it. That's all that's ever. Some people takes a little longer. We are not here to judge. What I am here to do is to put thought patterns in your head that you may not necessarily think, or you may not feel bold enough to step over that line. Okay, but whatever you do, and that goes for me, for you, for everybody. One moment, let me check on my neck bone. Okay, needs to brown a little bit more. I'm gonna put this over here, kind of tint it just a little, because it's starting to spit out oil, and I don't want it all over my stove. Like I said, whatever you do, a healthy perspective on yourself. And that's why I say this a lot, okay? Relationships are a lovely thing. Sharing your life with someone is beautiful, okay? I think it's the most beautiful thing that you can do. However, if you are not stable, if you don't know who you are, if you are not strong and able to make decisions that affect you in a positive way, and if you don't understand the difference between love and somebody just being there, okay? You can have a pair of shoes. Them things hurt, okay? But you won't get rid of them because for whatever reason I paid a lot of money for them. That's a thing too. I've invested a lot in this, and I'm just not going to say die. And yeah, I'm going to say the word die today, okay? Because this is grown folks, okay? You just don't want to say die because every day you wake up, you feel there's a possibility. And until the final curtain, you feel like, hey, I'm going to hang in there. I'm going to try to work with this. I'm going to stand back, kind of see what happens. But I'm going to tell you, you get to the point where you can't stand back anymore. And when it starts affecting your mental health, then you need to get something corrected. Whether that's a conversation with that person to see if that person really does care about you, but it's oblivious to the pain they cause. Hold on for a second. Let me take that down. I think I can turn this. Yes, so this is, I want to show you if you can see. You can't, yeah, that's what you want to see. So we're going to do it on the next side too. Okay, I'm going to close that up because unfortunately, these bones are not equal opportunity bones. So some of them are flat where you can flip them over and some are lopsided. Hey, there's no telling how our neck is going to grow. What can I tell you? So you make accommodations. Okay, and you make accommodations in your relationships, but you don't make so many accommodations to you all twisted up in the game and everybody, you walking with a cane and they're power walking on top of you. Okay, you are not obligated in this life to be so self-sacrificing to the point that you lose who you are. And when you lose who you are, sometimes when you wake up and smell the coffee, you don't even know who you are. But not to worry, because we grow, we evolve, and maybe who you are now is a better version of who you were back when. Stronger, bolder, bigger, badder, smarter, more savvy. Okay. And you do what you need to do to soothe your soul. So let me check this. I want to take a little drink because I turned the AC down. Now I'm hot. I'm over here near this stuff with all this stuff doing this little thing over here. And what I'm going to do is also I want to open up these beans because I want to get the beans on because I am going to season them because we're going to marry all these lovely things. I have some beautiful herb white rice over here for this. I'm going to make it fancy. Beautiful assistant made her famous cornbread. Hey, we just doing this thing up in here. Yes, we are.
Oh, and he left us a message. Said it makes total sense, and you are doing any partner a disservice if you do not make sure you are stable and okay.
That's right.
So that really does go back to making sure you're checking yourself before you get into a relationship. Because just like you could be in a relationship with a toxic person, you could be the toxic person.
Yeah, you could be and you can have two toxic people. Okay, toxicity does not always rear its head in the same way. Sometimes you're in this relationship, it's so wild and it's so hot, and 1 minute you're in there, and the next minute you're fighting, and then, as they say, break up to make up. That's all we ever do. Okay. However, that's not normal behavior. You shouldn't be at level 10 all the time wondering. I don't want to keep wondering what's going to come through the door every day. Who's going to come through the door every day? Now, hey, we all want variety, but I don't want a different partner coming through the door every day. I truly don't. I want one that I can relate to. Like I said, everybody has their days, their moments or whatever. But when them moments turns into days, and them days turn into weeks, and them weeks turn into years, and to many gray hairs, yeah. And then I turn around and I look at this person who I'm thinking in my mind, loved all these years, and I don't even see that person anymore. That's more than a red flag. That's a freaking siren. That's a 5-alarm fire. You need the fire department to be sitting up here now. You need to come out before your lungs collapse. Yes. Okay, let me check. Okay, and I'm going to let this cook a little longer because I had planned to, but with all this talking, I had planned to get this just where I needed to be so I could jump over here and finish cooking. Looks like I'm going to have to put this in a little itty bitty pot by itself because this other stuff, let me just check. Okay.
Oh, and Lois also said, I rewatched this morning's video. Teaching this Saturday class is good, but I missed the morning live.
Listen, it's no big deal, Lo.
No, she said she missed being there.
I know, but you can come. You can come at 9.
Oh, and she is, and she commented about that too. She said so true to everything you say, and then she was saying one of my daughters will kick you to the curb immediately. The other one gives you multiple chances.
Oh, see, yeah, this is. Okay, I gotta get moving with.
And she just said, I'm gonna ask, can I use the same recipe?
No.
Can I use the same
recipe? What is with you? Do you really don't want Mary to have any lambs? Yes, you. Okay, if you could, I have never had a lamb neck bone, lowest carb. But if you find a lamb neck bone, I'll cook it too. Yes. Yes, I will. Okay, I'm sure they got necks, so they got bones. Now you probably have to go to a specialty market because I've never seen a lamb neck bone. Okay, I'm be totally honest.
And of course, she said, I don't agree with. No, she said, I agree. I don't want a Jekyll and Hyde every day. I have enough trouble keeping myself together. I feel that.
Exactly. Exactly.
Both of us, you got to do your part too.
I'm just I dropped a little bit of the gravy off of the meat out of here, off that tongue, so I want to get it off the floor, y'all. Yeah, and that's it exactly. And like I said, everybody likes variety. You'll never have to have a crumple, a truffle, a blupple, or how much we were talking about last week, because you're always going to have somebody new. But I want somebody new that's worthy. I don't want somebody new that's weird. Okay, I'm just being factual. Okay, when you get to be 26 years old, your tolerance level is very, very different than it was when you were 26 for real. Okay, your eyes are wider open than when you were 26. Okay, you see things for what they are, but that just still does not negate your heart is your heart and you feel what you feel. Okay, so you have to kind of deprogram your feelings. You gotta take it out of here, stick it up in here, and use your head. Is this servicing you the way it needs to be servicing you? Okay, and like I said, you can approach it with an adult dynamic. Okay, if the other person wants to act like a grown-up, if they want to be in diapers, then hey, I ain't about putting no powder on no grown person and putting a diaper on them unless you are incapacitated. Yeah, then I'll put a diaper on you. Okay, when you're fully have all your faculties about yourself and you think that I'm going to diaper you and burp you and continue to put up with you and all your swings and all your tosses and all these things that are making me nutty, okay, making me feel like, hey, there ain't no sunshine, that, okay, hey, I like the sun, I need vitamin D. Okay, let me look at this. So ultimately, I'm going to take this off. This is brown, just like I need it, because I'm going to take this and look at it, but I can almost guarantee you that this is probably just as tender as it can be, and I can't put this little friend in there. So I'm going to put this little friend in a little small pot. Okay, later. But right now, let me see what's going on with these. Yeah. Anybody want to taste this piece of meat? Tell me what you think. Okay.
Why are you asking these questions if you don't think we are waiting?
Okay, because sometimes I think that you actually going to say
no. Absolutely not.
Okay. Here, it's right here on the. Yeah, it's hot. It's hot, but what is it? Hey, hot is good.
Yeah, I don't want to burn myself.
Okay, a little burn. I'm about to lose the meat.
Someone save the precious. The precious.
I never see her move so fast.
Leave me alone.
You're gonna stop, save the precious. Oh my goodness, I tell you. What did he say?
They're out here acting like precious.
Anyway, okay, we're gonna ignore that.
That's delicious.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Is it delicious? Does it need salt? What do you think? She don't even know. She's too busy worrying about it falling.
It's tasty. I put a little bit of salt because it has like a sweetness to it.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little bit of salt. Okay. And this is the back pot. So you can imagine that one right there is like doing this thing. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in here. Just a little. I'm gonna take my friend over here. I hate to leave you so alone, but your buddies are cooked. And I'm gonna put it in a teeny tiny pot later. Okay, so it can sit over here for a moment. Don't worry, I'm not gonna waste it. Let me get it back over here so I can get closer. Put it back on the 6 because the longer you cook it, the better it is. So let's see what we're doing with. Yeah, them juices is doing their thing. So I'm gonna put a little bit of salt in here, just a little to balance it off.
The days of the things that just reheated are over. What you talking about, Miss Huckabee?
Miss Huckabee, what are you talking about? Let me tell you something, Miss Huckabee. You and these private jokes of yours, I don't know what you're saying.
Oh, and also, apparently, Auntie Teresa's leaving comments, and they're not being posted. But just know, New York in the house. She just wants to
Okay,
know.
what happened? Why are they not being posted?
I don't know.
Okay, New York in the house. Hey, T. Okay, so I'm just turning this around, just like that, because there's not a whole lot of mixing you're going to do in this pot with these bones because they're not yielding. So you just turn them around. And, oh, that sauce is looking yum, yummy. Yummy. Yes. Okay, so let me put this top back on here, and I'm going to let this continue to cook and reduce. I need to get my beans on, which doesn't take that long. Okay, I'm going to check this one. Tell me if this one needs some salt. I'm sure it does. See, this is the pot that has the most in there, and yeah, okay, y'all stop scraping up my pan as I'm turning them, okay? Because it's a lot of big, chunky something monkeys. So, come over here and taste this. This stuff, when I tell you, you can cut down the cooking time. You can truly cut down the cooking time with that tenderizer. This would have took 3 hours. I had a lot of this stuff. Okay, go over there and get yourself a plastic fork. That way we throw it away. Okay, you're gonna have to go around.
Right here.
Okay, so and just take a little piece of that. Tell me. Now, see, I wanted you to taste the beautiful assistant because you taste that one, and I wanted it to taste the same way. Yeah, just a little piece right there. That right there. Yeah.
She said ever since I came in,
Yeah, take a little piece.
I was unable to make one post. I don't know why, because I've seen every post so far. I mean, last two you just did.
Yeah, I see the post there. I don't know what other posts you can't see.
I mean, I can definitely still take a piece if you want me to. Okay, see, he's giving you the happy dance. So
okay, see, he's not helpful because he's stuck.
Excuse me.
Well,
I'm listening, but also.
No, you put me out the way.
I'm trying to get some too.
Okay, come on, y'all. Got to put my beans on. I got to finish my conversation with my people here.
I'm just trying to be the taste. I need something to break the.
No, you don't. It's falling off the bone.
I'm not trying to do this thing. I'm gonna get wrong with it. I'm trying to do this. I just gotta get a little tasty.
And we said a little
taste. I'm trying to find a little piece because they're all so big. Okay.
Any day now. A little bit of salt. Okay, so I figured that. So I'm gonna put a little bit in here. See, this is what I'm saying. Salting it afterward is good if you need to. So I did that, and I'm gonna move it around. Okay. All right. So let me get this over here. So what you can do for me, beautiful assistant, I can finish talking to my peeps, is open up these cans of beans. I'm going to have her open up 3 cans of beans. I want her to put them in a colander. I want to run warm water on them and get all of whatever they have on it, which is not much. Just a little liquid they have. Now I want that off. And then run your hands through the beans to make sure there's no particles, anything, which I'm sure there aren't. But hey, you know me. I didn't pick them, so I have to make sure. Right. Okay. Let me stir this.
And I squeeze.
There you go. Hearty. Okay, get that over here and turn that over. Yeah, these things doing their thing.
They're probably about ready to go.
Oh, they are ready. They're literally falling off the bone. And that is not a fib. And I don't think I'm gonna have to put anything in here to thicken up because it's not. I don't want it thick like gravy. But I don't want it like soup either. I want a nice little something to meld with the beans, And I think I would like to have a spoon. I'm going to take a spoon so I can kind of base, because like I said, you have your bones, your neck bones here, and the top ones, like I said, were not submerged. They clearly are cooked with the steam of the pot. So this was a good thing. Okay, so let me put that back on here. Corey, if you can help me get the computer back over. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna finish my epilogue. How about that? And I'm gonna direct beautiful assistant as to putting these beans together because it's not hard. It's not hard at all. Okay, so. Let me leave that over here. Let's move this. Corey, if you can move this. Yes, I get my chair. Just move it back over there.
Now, because these are already pre-cooked, is it okay that some of them are kind of like a little push or?
Yeah.
It's quite a few. Like they look kind of like this because they're really soft already.
Okay, yeah. So you can take. I want her to, because for aesthetic purposes, which lets you know it's good. They're pretty cooked, and that's why I like this brand. Goya tends to be, if you're gonna take the fast way out, it is a good brand to use if you're doing beans. I find they're very clean. I like the fact a lot of the beans in the can, they come with their own seasonings. They're going to do the Soulful season. I don't want you to season it for me. I just want you to make it simple for me so I don't have to wait for them to cook. Okay, so she's going to take some of the imperfections out. And they're only imperfect because they are mushed. Okay. And I'm not making refried beans. So let me get back over here while she does. And now I'm stuck. This dress has me stuck, y'all. Oh, okay. Got me doing Patti LaBelle. I'm flying.
Okay, now up to what point should I remove? Because there's quite a few of them.
Okay, you don't have to do a whole lot. Okay,
well,
so what she's
away.
yeah, so she's cleaning them all off, making sure all of that's it's like I guess it's a water fluid, and they may have some sodium in it. So I make sure all of that is gone. Okay, once we do that, just get all that water off of there, get that pot over there, and then we are going to season them up, heat them up, let that flavor come through them. We're going to drain them off, and we're going to marry them with our neck bones and our herb rice and our cornbread. Yes, we are.
And then marry them to my stomach.
And then she's going to marry it to her stomach, she says. Okay, so you're going to take, and this is where the bay leaves come in. We're going to put some bay leaves. We're going to get some chicken broth. We're going to put a cup of chicken broth in, we're going to put that in a pan. Okay, I need to put 1 bay leaf, 2 bay leaves in there. Put my herbs, put all the herbs I have. So it's going to be, yeah, this is great. Okay, so.
Sorry.
Now she's trying to tear up the counter here. Okay. All right. So I guess this means you're going to put it together and she's going to stick it on the stove. That's what it means. Okay.
I mean, I have to follow you.
Okay. Well, I was going to tell her.
Examples are best.
Whatever. She's trying to take the hack out. So back to what I was saying. Yeah. So I'm going to do a cup of the chicken broth. Only because, and I would do a beef broth, but I ran out of beef broth. So. Yeah, we're going to tent that now because that right there is cooking now. Anyway, so like I was saying, that love can switch to hate and back and forth. You're on this emotional roller coaster. It ain't good for nobody. It can start affecting you mentally and physically, so it's not a good thing. Okay. And it's as toxic as you want it to be. Okay. And so, like I said, some people stay. Why do you stay? Because you love that person. You want that person to respect you, to trust you, to be intimate with you, whatever the case may be, whatever your reasons are, you stay. You stay a lot of times, like I said, because you think, and this is a cup, you think or feel a lot of times, and I think I'm going to do a cup and a half because there's a lot of beans. Okay, that somehow things may change. But see, I'm going to tell you, a lot of times that's the illness that you have. Okay, yeah, I'm just going to pour all this in here. Okay, that's your part of the illness because I have said it and I'll say it and I'll say it and I'll say it. Every relationship takes more than one person. Okay, there are 2 people. Well, we're going to talk about the 2 people. We ain't talking about all the many people, but 2 people in a relationship. One person can be horrible, yes, but if you're there as a participant, okay, whether you think it's willing or not, okay, you are helping to fuel the fire. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of butter in here. What did I do with, and I hid my bay leaves. Okay, so I'm going to take this bay leaf.
Do you have the butter out? Or should I?
Okay. You probably need to get one because I think I used it. I just want a little pat of butter. I don't want a lot of butter because we have such a lovely sauce. So I'm going to take the bay leaf out, and this is pretty little, but this should be okay. I just want it to be whole. So maybe I'll do 2 of the bay leaves. Okay.
There you go.
I'm going to do just a pat of butter. So what is that? A quarter teaspoon? Yeah.
Okay.
No, tablespoon. That's a tablespoon full of butter. Tablespoon. Okay.
There you go. It's kind of stuck to the...
Okay, so we're going to do a tablespoon of the butter, and she gives me the whole knife.
Well,
okay, so we're going to stick that over there. Now, my pinches. I need a pinch of Italian seasoning, Italian herbs, the fresh ones. Okay, I need a pinch of the parsley, and yeah, these things here, you do the pinch. Okay, you know that. Pinch, finger and forefinger and thumb. So she's going to do a pinch of each one of these things. She is going to put a teaspoonful of the minced garlic in here. Okay. And we're going to, of course, KC bless it all the way. We're going to put some white pepper in. So we're going to do a half a teaspoon of white pepper. Okay. We're going to put a half a teaspoon of that Cajun seasoning in there and see what that's all about. And then we're going to get our beans in here, and we're going to let our beans kind of simmer in here and get that flavor. Because you can really just put the beans in the sauce if you want, or put the sauce over the beans. But I need everybody to have their little coating, their own flavor, so they can be unique. Okay, of course. We're going to bless it as much as we want to bless it. Okay, that's what we're going to do.
I'm going to let you do the Cajun thing. I'll do the other one.
Okay, so like I said, we're going to do a half a teaspoon of this. Okay, just like that. All right. So I'm going to let y'all see what it look like when we finish. Okay. Is it open?
Yeah. How much more?
Okay, more, because I want to, yeah, there you go. That's good. That garlic is good. Okay, give me a little onion powder too. That's white pepper. Okay, give me the Casey's. Give me the Casey's blessing. I'm going to put a quarter teaspoon of the white pepper in there because, like I said, it can really get kind of spicy if you go too hard.
Lois said, what different flavor does white and black pepper give? We talked about that a little earlier.
I'm gonna tell you totally. I find white pepper to be a little less evasive, than black pepper. However, if you use a lot of it can hold some heat. It really does. And I use it a lot for the kids because, like, say, when I make mac and cheese or whatever, the stovetop one, when I make my mac and cheese, and I'm putting a half a teaspoon of onion powder. When I make my baked macaroni and cheese, I don't care what they think, I'm putting some black pepper in there. Okay, but when I do the stovetop thing for them that they want to eat almost every single day, I put the white pepper because, of course, they don't want to see little black things on there. And it still gives you that flavor, okay, but it's just a lighter version. That's what I'm finding. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. Let's bring this down. This is what the fluid looks like after I put everything in it. We're going to melt this butter down, okay, with the beans in. So we're going to put the beans in and we're going to kind of stir them around, and then we're going to bring them to a boil, and then we're going to let them simmer for a couple of minutes. And yeah, that'll be it for the beans. Oh, one more thing. Bring me my beans back, because then I got to hit it with a little Splenda, because I always put a little bit of sugar in my beans. Yes, I do. And you don't have to, but that's what I like to do. So just a little. And so I'm going to do a nice little round robin. Now we're going to stir it up. Okay. I don't need any salt, I don't think, because it's going to be enough salt from the juices of that meat.
Okay.
I think it's going to be enough. Yeah. See, now you got me wondering. Maybe I will. Okay, give me just a little. I'm going to put some more Casey's blessing in here. That's what I'm going to do.
Then I'm going to mix that.
There you go. Just a pinch of salt, just a little, because I took all the salt off the beans juice. So I just did a little, and I'm going to stir it up again. Okay, and then we want to get over here and just let it do its little thing. I would put a little bit more garlic in there too. She's going to put another teaspoonful of garlic in there. So like I said about staying, you're hooked, you're kind of hooked on a feeling. And people who are toxic, and I don't know, sometimes I think that the person may actually love you, okay, but they don't know how to. And it's always, it's like a fishing game. Okay, you pull back, they throw in some bait. You grab the bait thinking it's going to be okay. They reel you in. Then you're kind of sitting out there floating in the abyss because here they go again. So it's this back and forth, and it becomes any habit. Like I said, anything can be habit forming, and you grow to expect this. The person who's issuing the pain and the person who's receiving it. You know what I'm saying? And find yourself wishing for the times when it's not that bad. But see, a relationship should not be a position where, out of 365 days, I had about 5 days that weren't that bad. That's not good for anybody. Okay, that's not good for your self-esteem. That's not good for your psyche. That's not even good for the toxic person, because being that mean and hateful all the time got to do something to people. Really, I'm sorry. It has to. Okay, I truly believe that. However, okay, red flags are always everywhere. They start off teeny weeny and then they get bigger, but you find bigger excuses, and that's why you continue to put up with the mess. Okay. I'm gonna tell you like this. Everybody don't want to leave, but sometimes it's just like with addiction. Okay, people have to hit rock bottom, and sometimes you got to make a person hit rock bottom so they can give you what you need if they really want to be there. Sometimes people get so used to taking you for granted, and you allow that behavior so they don't even really know they're stepping on you, and you going out. You're going out or in the abyss somewhere so low so they can't even hear you because they are so self-involved. Okay. And like I said, when you are attached to somebody because of trauma, something could have happened. That person was there for you. They were your ride or die. And, some people can be a ride or die forever for any situation. Okay. And then you have that, I'm your ride or die today. I don't know how I'm going to feel about it tomorrow. I may not be here then, or whatever case may be. And you still sitting here. Yeah, that's my ride or die. That's my person. Whatever happens, I know I can count on them. And they're like, not so much. So all those things are red flags. All those things are red flags. When somebody is down for you, they are down for you. Come what may, no matter how hard it gets, no matter what you face, we're going to figure it out together, not leave the other person alone trying to figure it out themselves. And then if things work out, then you want to come creeping back around and enjoy the good time. Okay. Life don't work like that. It really doesn't. I don't know anybody that has not faced some sort of adversity in their lives. Okay. You can go through health issues. You can go through financial issues. You can go through emotional issues. Okay. And especially when you've legally married somebody, do you hear the words that be coming out of them people's mouth? Okay. In sickness and in health, for better or worse. Okay. They just not doing a rap song. This stuff is supposed to mean something. And you standing in front of man and God, and you are taking these vows to do this with this person, to do this dance, irregardless of whether they can do the Watusi or they can only do the waltz. Okay. You do this. Why do people do these things and they don't take it seriously? You don't step into the fire unless you're ready to burn. So, I will say again, for those of us, okay, who have relationships, who are feeling that it is not serving you, you gotta fix you. And once you fortify you, then you have the wherewithal and the critical thinking ability to make a clear decision. Because once you make a decision, it needs to be done. For real. All this back and forth, it need to be done. Because you will never heal if you don't get the freedom to step away from the madness and heal. And, you want your self-esteem back, these kind of relationships erode at it. If you had some, you probably got this much now because you put up with so much stuff, you begin to wonder, do I deserve this? Is it something I'm missing? Do they see something lacking in me and they feel like they can just step all over my feelings? Hey, there are a whole lot of reasons. But whatever they are, you are not put on this earth to be somebody's psychiatrist. You are not here to be somebody's whipping board. You're not here to be the just in case I don't want to be a lone person. That's not what a relationship should be. And anybody that likes being in something like that truly has issues. And you don't want to have to deal with those. That's why people get paid $350 an hour to sit there and deal with that. And maybe that person needs to get that dealt with, and then they can step to you. And you definitely need to get something done, because after dealing with something as toxic relationships go for so long, hey, you definitely you need to talk to somebody for real. Because honey, you just like somebody with PTSD for real. So, bottom line is toxic relationships. They can feel like love. They can feel like a wild, like you hanging on the wild side. You know, you with that motorcycle gang or whatever. You know, you on the back riding, and this is thrilling or whatever case it be, and it is. And it can be loving, and it can be fulfilling, and it can be everything you think you need. But it can be just like the flip side. When it flips over and it's no longer that, you cannot convince yourself that it is. You can try, you can live, as I say, in the land of ostriches with your head in the sand. You can do all these things. And I am not going to tell anybody what the time frame is, just like with grief. When you have been in a relationship with someone for however much time or however deep you put your feelings into it, it is a loss. You grieve it. The thought of having to feel that pain is hard. But you have to ready yourself. You have to steady yourself, and you have to love yourself. And when you get to the point of loving yourself, you're going to make other people respect you. You're going to make other people see you just as you see yourself. I think that, how long have we been doing the beans?
About 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long for the beans or whatever. We're going to start getting this stuff together, plating it up. Tell me what you think about it. Are you seeing signs? Have you seen the signs? Do you know what a sign is? Yeah, you know, so that's all I'm saying. Like I said, I'm not here to tell anybody what to do with their life. Okay, so we got a couple of more minutes for the beans because the butter's still melting. You know,
I'm gonna turn it up a little. I turned it down so it didn't cook too fast.
Okay, let me stop. I'm putting the cup away. Because what's gonna happen is I'm not gonna be able to eat. And I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna smell these smells, and then I'll put it on my plate and take one bite. It's like, oh no. Yes. So, but you know, I told y'all this is gonna be deep. And it gets deeper. There are so many components to relationships. It really is. You know, sometimes you just say to yourself, oh man, this is like way, way too much. And let me just look in the mirror and try to be a relationship with myself. But then we turn our heads around and we say, let me go back into the game and give it a try. So, hey, whatever. But the first thing that, like I said, we all need to understand is to love yourself. Okay? Ain't nothing wrong with that. I don't know why in the society somebody done told you that you have to love everybody but you. And if you love you, then you're conceited, you're self-involved, you're the child, everybody around there loving themselves. You better start loving you too. That doesn't mean you can't share the love. Okay, but you should be the first person that you love, and then everyone will love you just as much as you love yourself. Use your power for good. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
Certain things you are not willing to accept.
Yeah, and it doesn't make you a bad person because you're not willing to let somebody walk on top of you, or to sit on you, or to put, as my favorite thing, put their foot on your neck. Okay, because that makes them feel more powerful, because in reality, they don't feel any power at all, you know. And sometimes, you know, somebody needs that component in their life in order to make them feel whole. Okay, I want to walk with you, baby. I don't want to be you. I really don't. And that, my friend, is that. Okay, so I almost forgot where I put my jewelry. I'm like, okay, I know I had some on. I couldn't find it. I'm like, okay.
You got it?
Yeah, I got everything. So what are we looking like? We can take.
Melted. Do you want to take these other things off?
Yeah, because what I'm going to do now is I like to see how much of this bone I can get up out of here. Because both of them are, I thought that, see, and it has to do with your pots too.
Mhm.
That stainless steel pot can heat up the world. It heats really fast. I did start that about 15 minutes before I did the other one. And both of them, check that one.
I'm gonna slide this back. Because that eye's a little bigger, so it'll work on quicker.
Okay, yeah, she's trying to heat the beans. I want you to check that pot back there, that meat, and see if I can just pull it off the bone, some of it off the bone, because it makes it easier for eating. You know, I don't want to have to keep. I mean, you can do the bone too.
Yeah.
Okay, so everything's fall off the bone. So we're gonna get ready to plate these puppies up.
Oh, yeah. They gonna
Honka cheese. She said bunk. What is it? Cheese.
No, that's a big old honky piece.
Oh, she said honking piece. Okay. I tell you, you can tell we some food folks up in here, right? For real. Okay, let's get this back where it goes. Back where you belong.
Yeah,
So
I'll start putting up the stuff, and when the beans start bubbling, I will turn them off.
yes, and I'm going to clean this up, get this out the way, and we're going to get our plates together.
And I'm gonna grab the cornbread.
And she gonna grab some. You know, see, I'm not gonna tell on you.
What? Oh.
Yeah.
And
I'm not gonna say a word.
that's the assistant tax.
Yeah. Let's get this over here. Okay, she sprayed herself. Okay. So we're just tidying up. Because see, once we eat this monumental dinner, child, it's a wrap. For real.
Done. And I'm prepared for that. And so I am preemptively straightening.
Okay, I'll get that in there. Get all the stuff up in here. Back in there. All righty. And we have all these pot tops open. Let me see. I'm going to check my beans. The beans are doing what the beans do.
Yeah.
Put the top on there. We got the top on here. And let me just wipe this off.
Yep. Do you need beans anymore?
Okay, no, we're going to put those in the fridge. That was just for me to show.
The tongs.
Oh, the tongs. Yeah, I do need the tongs to probably lift that meat up out of there. Because it's a lot. Okay, we rinse these tongs off. Somebody can pass me the plates.
Plate or bowl?
Plate, bowl. It depends on how much you want to eat.
Actually, Corey, can you come do that for me?
Yep. So we'll get this over here. Dry that off. And I'll decide whether I'm going to do a plate, a bowl, or bowl. So I do know I need some spoons. And I need my ladle. My ladle, Corey, please get the ladle. And my ladle is always in the back.
I'm gonna go ahead and grab bowls.
Okay, yeah. But see, my only thing is with a bowl, the bowl is good, but those bones are so big. I don't know what to. Okay, that's making noise, isn't it? Okay. All right. Okay, got a ladle. I need my plate. Oh, my bowls. Okay. All right. Let me put this over here. Okay, I'm going to turn my beans off. And I'm going to check my herb rice that I had over here sitting in my little stainless steel bowl. So I'll just turn over here because I don't want to be rude and talk to nothing to you talking to anybody. Okay, so let's see what I'm going to do first. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to just put a little bit of that. And it's still pretty warm. And like I said, you don't have to have herb rice. You know, I just got to be extra, you know.
It's tasty though.
I'm going to put a little bit in here in the bowl. I'm not going to put a whole lot for myself because I already know I drank way too much.
It's gotta be small because I always have eyes bigger than my stomach.
Exactly.
Try to do right this time.
Okay. And these bowls are not that big, so you're gonna have to come back and get some more if you want it, because I know this meat is huge. I'm gonna try to chunk it off. Yes, I am. Okay. Alrighty. So let me get this over here. And that'll be that. All right, so let's see what we got going here. Let's see if I can pull. Let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which pot's going to be easier? So, I'm going to take my beans, and I'm going to use my slotted spoon because I don't want all the juices. So, I'm going to use my slotted spoon. I'm going to put my beans over in here. Just like that. Just kind of put a little over there. And do a little bit over here. Okay, and just a teeny tiny weenie for me, just like that. Because really, what I'm looking forward to, I'm being totally honest, this neck bone.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think I'm gonna pull from. Let's see what this pot looks like. Now this is easier to deal with. Okay, so let's see. So like I was saying, these your little vines, you can take those out, put them over to the side. They're not going to hurt you. Okay, let's see what we can dig out of here. Okay, because that smells good. A lot of bones in this. Let's see. What do we got? Okay, let's see. This may be the one full of bones. Okay, this has some meat on it. Let's try this one. Okay, so we're going to take that out. I'm just trying to take some of the little herbs off of here.
Little herbies.
Okay, put that over here. And we're going to try another one, see if we got some meat on this one. And that's the thing, sometimes you can get some really meaty ones, and then sometimes you get some, not so much. And that's why I got so many, because I wanted to make sure that now these herbs are everywhere. Let me take them off. I wanted to make sure that we had enough meat. So I'm going to get a spoon that I can actually dip some of this gravy up in. I need a bigger spoon. I should have used that ladle. That's what I should have done.
I thought that was
Trying to get, but see, I'm also trying to clear the herbs off of there. So that's why I didn't do that. But now I can stick my spoon in here, just like that. Get that nice little sauce going over in there. Just like that. Okay, that looks really good.
That's that knockout plate.
Yeah. And well, the bones are bigger than the meat is on here, okay? You got to realize that the bones are bigger than the actual meat itself, So you go get a couple of bites of meat, and that's about it. Okay, let me get something cute. Okay. And then Corey, come get yours so you can make your funny face and not tell me what it tastes like. Okay. Well, I mean, hey, you don't tell me what it tastes like. You just
you got a happy dance. You said the sign language. All you need. It shows you everything. The face.
Okay. So, all right. Are you doing fork or spoon? Okay. I don't know how he gonna pick up this stuff with a fork, but you can take a look. Let me do beautiful assistant.
Yeah.
No.
Holy moly.
Do y'all see that? It looks amazing.
It is.
I'm going to go ahead and go in for my bite.
Trying to get you some meat on here because a lot of the meat in this one has fallen to the bottom.
I think the bottom.
You're not be able to get to it.
Now, I will tell you guys this. Sweet and savory, it is excellent. The way that the flavor, like the flavors have been layered perfectly. The meat is nice and tender, coming right off the bone. I'm going to try a little bit of this rice and beans right here. The texture of the rice and the beans, they're perfect. It is delicious.
Yeah.
Coated with this sauce, everything comes together so well.
Okay, come get yours, beautiful assistant.
Fantastic.
Delicious.
Okay, you want a spoon?
Sure.
There you go.
Ooh, yay. This looks delicious. It looks fabulous.
You were lucky. You
Caramelization.
got a big piece off the bottom.
Yay. Lucky me. It don't even matter what utensil you use. It just fall right apart. So I can use a finger. It'll just be like bing. Come right on down. All right. Try and get a little bit of both. And not burn my tongue. That's delicious. It does taste like an oxtail. It tastes like an oxtail. It has that caramelization, the sweet savory mix, like as Corey said. Every piece of this meat is perfectly seasoned, perfect texture. Just it melds so the butteriness, can't forget that. Oh my god, everything just melds so perfectly together.
Okay.
I don't know how to describe this. It's too good. It's so delicious.
I'm over here making messes with the gravy.
The gravy is outstanding. It doesn't even like it's so crazy because it's warm outside, but it's like it just warms your soul. You don't even care that it's hot outside. As soon as it hits your tongue, it's just like, I had a long day at work, but good grief, I look forward to this moment right now.
I'm telling you, comfort food touches your soul. Yes, it does. It touches your soul. It doesn't matter what time of year it is, especially when you ain't got to cook it.
Oh, yeah.
When you don't have to cook it. Okay, this top one here.
Delicious.
Okay, just like that. I had a gravy disaster over here, y'all. I was so eager trying to get the bone out. The gravy jumped out at me. Okay, I'm gonna taste mine. All I hear is a plate clanking. Okay, let's try to get this up here. Okay, let's see what we got. So I'm not even going with all of the hoopla and all of the dressings and stuff, but as you can see, it looks savory all by itself. Okay, you see I had a little mess, but you see this is what that brown sugar does. Okay, so I got one of something. Okay, I had to dig around there because there's a bone, it's a neck bone, but I'm gonna try to let you see the rice, the beans, and the meat all together, and that lovely gravy. And I don't know if it's that hot. Let's see.
It's pretty hot.
So I'm gonna blow it so I don't burn myself on national television because we don't want to do that. Okay, that's good. Oh my God! Yeah, I'm gonna stop. This is really good. Well, if you're craving some oxtails and oxtails are way too high, oh, this is what you want to do. The beans, the lovely savoriness of this gravy. Okay, like I said, you don't have to do a whole lot. You taste the seasoning that I put in the beans, but you really don't have to do a whole lot. If you cook the beans, from scratch, it's going to absorb all of this lovely sauce. It's just it is Lois, yes. It is fall off the bone tender. If you want to get, and you can do the same thing. Like I said, I've never done lamb neck bones before. I mean, this is really, I never really did beef neck bones until here lately. And yeah, this is slap your mama and daddy moment. You got that right. Okay, so it tastes really good. It really does. I would not lie to you guys. This is delicious. And as beautiful sister said, we forgot the cornbread.
Oh, snap. I ain't even think about it again. That is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I need a paper towel.
I had a bone this shoot. I can eat the beans and the rice without even the meat. Because it's so flavorful. Anyhow, I hope that this has been a good live for you guys tonight. I hope that the recipe, you give it a try. This is easy. You don't have to watch it. It is easy. I hope that, we just we've allowed ourselves to start thinking, whether this applies to you or not. But hey, you never know. You always want to have things in your arsenal that kind of grab from to help fortify you when you need it. And that's what this place is about. Like I said, love yourself, cherish yourself, and others will do the same. So, if you like this live, hey, I guess you did because I got 10 for 10. Yeah. And anybody else out there, and if you watch it, like I like. Okay. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and remember to turn your notifications on. And for those of you who are family already, turn those notifications on. You know what you need to do so I can tell you when I'm coming back at you, whenever, with whatever. Okay? And I'm going to tell you, like I tell you guys every week, okay? Whether you're in a relationship, you're thinking about being in one, okay? You're getting out of one, you just want to be with yourself and learn who you are. I hope everyone finds their rhythm and they dance. And you know what Casey wishes you. I wish you love, peace, and happiness, y'all. I'm going to see y'all next week with another juicy topic. I promise there's some good eats. That's for sure. Okay? Smooches. Have a lovely week. Bye-bye. I keep saying that. And this kid's computer, I tell you bye. Bye, guys.